Hello everyone, Ghetto Mozart here. We're playing some 9kings today, and I'd like to share with you how I play rats on the King of Progress. So yes, lab rats. This is a pretty rewarding build, and it's pretty easy as well. I thought this would be a great first video for this series in the lab rats. So here are my perks, most important being scientific. Lab rats start with +1 level. I have this 4x'd. In addition to that, receive 1 gold for each level up. That's pretty huge. I have that 2x, so 2 gold per level up. And I always like expansionist, unlocking a random plot, have that 2x as well. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Also, we're going to go ahead and ban out the King of Stone. Those ballistas will absolutely one-shot our rats. Alright, after a few rerolls, we got the King of Time and the King of Blood. Those are great enemies to have. I called this build the Rewind Rats. Rewind from the King of Time. And the King of Blood is great too. They have the demon altars that level up whenever you lose a unit. So since we're going to have like a huge swarm of rats, the demon's altar is really good. You'll see that I used a reroll here to try to get another King of Progress battle. This is just so that we can just start stacking rats. The strategy behind this is to only get rats. You just stack rats. You'll see I got another one here on year 3. It's going pretty well. And we already have a demon stacking up. So that's good. You know, if you don't want to do or face the King of Blood, you can face the King of Nature. They have a great card with the clone card that can help you level your rats up even more and get more on the board. Now the Royal Decree here, I'm looking for. We actually just took crit chance, but I was looking for really any value there. I felt pretty strong early on, so I would have even taken take 3 Royal Decrees next time. And this Carnage buff I give the central rats, that's actually pretty huge. I just did that early on. I didn't really think anything of it. I just needed to use a card, but it ended up being a pretty clutch enchantment for this middle rat. So we pick up our first rewind here. That's huge. That's going to allow us to get more rats on the board, and that's really all we're trying to do here. So yeah, I picked up another rat. Now, when you first start this, make sure to make the rats adjacent to each other. Meaning, you see how I made a rat right in the center? Put them in a cross. Put the other rats in a cross adjacent to them. The center rats. And then you can fill in the diagonals, and as long as they're all touching, they'll all level up together. So you should be able to see this now. I'm going to guess that. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and re-roll that. We want to double the damage of the plot, so I'm probably going to put the lab rats down here. And you'll see that since we took the perk that has +4 levels whenever we place a lab rat, our middle lab rat is already really strong. So again, we're looking for rewinds. You know, gold is expendable. Although you want to keep a little bit of gold, you mainly just want to use it for rerolls so you can form the perfect build, or closest to the perfect build. But yeah, we got our second rewind here, and we have a total of 5 rats, which is awesome. Like I said in the beginning, we want to ban out any kings that have a lot of AoE. You know, the King of Stone with their ballistas, the King of Time. They'll be a problem later on, even though this is part of the build, the orbiters, but we can beat them early. And in addition to that, the, let's see, King of Spells. All of them, you know, all good bans, except for the King of Time, because we need the rewind, of course. Now, choosing a king to wage war against, King of Nature, so this is a really good setup. King of Nature is one of my favorites for pretty much any build, just because of the clone. I talked about that a little bit a few minutes ago, but clone card really helps with any build you try to do. leveling up your plots or getting the same plots on different expanding the plots and stuff. So here we're just gonna take a mothership. We're just gonna take the mothership, but we're gonna keep on placing the lab rats we have. We almost have a full board of rats, and we are just sweeping all these enemies. Over 200 units at year 9, so that's pretty awesome as well. So after we get a full board of rats, we want to start upgrading them. You know, the royal decree that makes your strongest units attack the same as all of your attacks is awesome. Now we just picked up a clone and echo form. Echo form is absolutely awesome. Duplicates target plot and keeps the same stats, so we could potentially use that to duplicate our strongest rat. So you'll see how I end up doing this later, but we end up being really strong with that echo form. Now I'm just thinking here, I don't really need any other cards except for rats and enchantments, I guess, to enchant this rat. So yeah, that's what I was just thinking about there. But we got we got 8 rats now on the board, which is awesome. And I'm gonna go ahead and save this echo form. Again, I'm thinking I'm gonna use the echo form on the middle lab rats, but to do that we're gonna have to delete one of them. So we'll figure out what we'll do here. But yeah, we're just gonna play the mothership now, or Carnage, I'm sorry, and go ahead and save the echo form. Now, the King of Progress was actually a challenge if you don't have your lab rats high enough. Those tankers will, tank up all kinds of rats. So just be aware of that. Later on, the tankers can be a real problem. But in this run, we really didn't have any struggles with anything. We had a really good rolls, really good luck, and it was super rewarding. Nice, we got our last lab rats, and soon I think we'll start scaling really hard. Now you'll see that the damage is just ticking up on that middle lab rats. That's because for every level that's gained from another plot, that lab rat is getting 1% damage. Absolutely awesome. Great synergy with our rats that are gonna just keep on leveling. So here, what I'm thinking is, just keep multiplying these rats, but I want to either move or get rid of that plot of rats right next to what I unlocked. That plot I just unlocked, I want to get rid of those rats right next to it so I can maybe use echo form to duplicate those middle rats. You'll see almost all of our damage is coming from the middle rats. 7,000 damage there, and the next highest was maybe 1,000. Yeah, doing pretty well. Now look here, King of Time, year 13. Really close battle. This is what I'm talking about with the orbiters. This is what I was talking about with like King of Stone and their ballistas. AoE will trash your rats. So yes, avoid them if you can. If I remember, I'm going to go ahead and roll to avoid the King of Time next time, because that was way too close for comfort. AoE smashes our rats. So just rolling. Ooh, splicing is sick. I was just rolling for another rewind, but we just got another splicing. We're already at level plus 34. Now we are absolutely cooking now. Look at the damage at year 14 on those rats. Level 71 or 74 plus 71 levels. We're going to go ahead and just use echo form here because I got a rewind, and we'll be able to play echo form again. So yeah, 875 units at year 15. We have a huge rat infestation, but this is what I'm talking about with this build. And if you can get a little bit of luck and get a full board of rats, you can scale like crazy, and it's super rewarding. So Our blessing of Zenith just happened. It doubled the damage of one of our rats, but what we're gonna do here, again, we're trying to clone our strongest rats. So I'm just kind of thinking through, looking at the damages on all these. Again, the Zenith just happened, but it looks like one of the top plots of rats I think we'll end up trying to get rid of. Now I messed up again, and I actually did not skip the King of Time, but we're so strong now. I just smoked him. We just ran right through him with all our rats. So the AoE was not an issue. And again, another rewind. So look at this. We have a huge play coming up with pretty much unlimited echo forms with the rewinds, as long as we keep getting it. And we're gonna be, we're gonna have a huge rat army. So King of Blood was good. Now we need to re-roll until we get, sacrifice. Destroy target plot. That's really what we want. Leveling up is a nice bonus, but destroying the target plot so we can use that echo form. And here is where this build really takes off this game. We get another rainbow army and another rainbow card. So we're gonna gigantify our middle lab rat. 7,700 damage, 327 health, 40% crit, and we're gonna duplicate that. Again, roll for rewinds, but actually it really doesn't matter this time because we already have one in our hand. Well, yes, this is the part where it really feels like this build pays off. Now, you're not always going to be lucky and get a Gigantify or Echo form, but when you do, man, look at this. Two rats, or two full plots of rats, one with 16,000 damage, one with 7,000 damage, and we're just going to keep on trying to do that. Now, you have to think it through here. Remember, when you use Rewind, you get 3 cards back. So the last 3 cards played, it actually ended up being perfect. Sacrifice, Gigantify, and Echo form. So what I'm looking at here is, again, to sacrifice some more of these rats. There we go. And then next time, we're just going to Gigantify and then Echo form again. So we are scaling absolutely insane. And yes, the 4 million rat damage on the front was true. That was not fake. And Wishing Well is awesome. Watch this. We get 3 cards of whatever we toss into the well. The scaling's crazy. The scaling is absolutely awesome. We're just gonna make these rats huge. The biggest rats you've ever seen here with the Gigantify. And look at that. 188,000 damage with 3,000 life. And look at that. The King of Time took out half of them already. Did you see that with the AoE? So we're so strong now, it doesn't really matter, but still be aware of that. Now I'm using a lot of gold here to try to get another rewind, but it would be huge just because of all that I just got with Echo Form, more Gigantify. So yes, we're gonna go ahead and copy that. 417,000 damage for our middle rats. Pretty crazy. So yeah, we're just gonna continue this. Make peace with the King of Time. Oh, I made it with the King of Blood. I guess I don't need any more. I would have made it the King of Time just because of the AoE and scaling later, but you know, I'm only gonna go to the first boss on this. So I can get behind, you know, not making peace with the King of Time, especially because we're so strong. You're 23, 1,000 rats, and these rats have an absolute ton of attack. So Gigantify again, sacrifice. We have one on hand, and then of course we'll do Echo form again. And we should be able to do that a few more times before we face the boss, so we're going to be insanely strong. Now, since we're only going lab rats here, I might roll a little bit for some more rats, especially because we have so much gold. But really, we don't really need anything else. So I did waste some money there, which is fine. But we're gonna go ahead and echo form them, and we are well over 2 million damage for our middle rat pack. So again, I wanted to try to get the King of Time again there. That's what I was rolling for, I believe. But I'm just deciding here whether to throw away. You know, I start to get a little greedy here. I do. I got a little greedy. I should have just played the lab rats there on the empty plot. But I want to keep trying to get more of everything else. More Gigantify, more Echo Form, all that stuff. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and sacrifice them. But you see, last round, I should have played the rats, because now we have 2 open plots. So that is a little misplay on my part, but we should be okay with this swarm. Now, got some more rats here. Now, if we ever run out of Echo Forms and Gigantifies, you know, just take more rats and start leveling them up, you know, one by one. That's a little bit slower, but every rat that's attached is going to level up each time you level one rat pack up once, if that makes sense. So if I didn't have this Gigantify and Echo Form, I would be doing that and enchanting my strongest rat pack. So here's the King of Time again. Man, those orbiters. Luckily, we're super tanky now, but those orbiters would have shredded us. Now, Rewind is awesome. We get another Echo Form. That was the third last card played. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 packs of absolutely enormous rats. Absolutely, I don't even know what to call them. They're huge though. But here, I would absolutely love to get another, you know, double the level of all rats. That would be crazy. But yeah, the splicing would be sweet. But that'd also be that'd be crazy. So we just go with you know, I think we go with Gentrify here. After a few more rolls is what we get. But since we have the gold, you know, it's nice to have that gold to be able to re-roll for all these chances. Yeah, I think one more roll here, if anything, so I'm thinking about just taking the raw crit damage. And since... Oh, that Catharsis. Yes, did you see that? Some of our rats got 700,000% increased damage there. So Catharsis is awesome. Anytime you have like a zoo type meta, I guess you could say, or like a lot of units, I should say. Yeah, Catharsis is awesome. It just makes the highest attack of whatever unit. Now, it does have to be a unit. It will not scale off of our, you know, demon. Our red building with a demon in it. That will not scale, but any unit with the highest attack will make all your units have that attack. So we are doing a ton of damage now. Really tanky rats, and this should be a smooth sailing. Yeah, smooth sailing right through this boss. So we got maybe 5 more levels, 3 more levels until this boss, and yeah, super satisfying win. I don't mean to spoil it there, but now 4.5 E plus 7 though, so that means 7 more zeros after that. Is that in the billions? I'd have to write it out, but I believe that is either 4 or 40 billion damage. Million? Hold on, I'd have to write it out, but let's just say it's a lot of damage, and we also have 9,000 life. And 1,600 total units. So yeah, this was one of my favorite games of all last week. This was a blast to play. We're just gonna go ahead and excuse me, destroy a few, and the more you use that card, the more levels you gain. So that is destroy one plot to level up 2, but more you do it, you know, it might level up 3 and then 4 the 4th time you use it, you know. So this is the final assault. This is where the thumbnail came from with the 4 million lab rat damage. It still sounds crazy to say that, but we're just going to use up the rest of these cards and absolutely trash this boss. So there we go. This is the final 4.8E plus 8. Actually, it's way more than 4 million. I'm going to have to change my thumbnail. But you see, we absolutely swept that boss. And yes, this is the Rewind Rats. I stopped here just because of this video. And I didn't ever mention, but this was on King difficulty. I usually just play on King while I'm trying out new builds and stuff. So yeah, let me know if you like this build. I hope you did, and I hope you're enjoying 9kings as much as I am. Let me know in the comments what your favorite builds are and if this helped you out, and I will see you in the next one.